developing a new communications technology that will allow you and your friends to interact inside a stimulated environment. Even if you're thousands of miles apart, most of the basic components of this network are already in place to allow the development of teleimmersion. Teleimmersion is the scientific community's answer to the holodeck. What is neat about this is that our technology is starting to merge and understand the loop of science and the spirituality of creation. Let's say something was born in a virtual reality program, and that's all they know. How would you explain to them about the world outside the hologram, the program? Though you might say you cannot see us or hear us because all you can do is see and hear is the hologram. You could feel us near you watching your adventure. We are here, and some of us have already played this game while others have created it and have what gamers know as cheats. This also reminds me of the Truman Show, existing in this place where everything is fake and set up with everyone watching. But when Truman starts to suspect this, his desire to escape his artificial illusion world and greatly desires to know of the real world, the world beyond everything he has ever known. So if this place is a hologram, then do we really know what the universe looks like? Do we really know what Earth looks like? This can be seen as a kind of Matrix thing where Neo gets shown the real world, which is pretty dank and depressing, where Sentinels threaten their lives so they rush in the Matrix before it is too late. I do not jive with this future vision of the world. I see it as just the opposite. But if that is true, why are we experiencing the world this way? In a so seeming bleak and dire existence. Yet we are learning that this hologram we exist in, this world we live in, is not what it seems. Our senses are being manipulated to think and experience the world in a certain way, which perhaps is just the opposite of how it might actually be. Am I going too fast? Let's slow down. Let me give you an example. In one of my blogs, I wrote about going to Sedona and doing an exercise called Seeing Through the Hologram. If you look at the person in dim light and defocus your eyes like what people do in order to see auras, then they will see a black or white wall appear over the person's face. They will then see every form that person has ever been, human and non-human. Very much like kaleidoscopic vision of the people you think you know. There is another neat thing you can do as well. It is the same exercise, only this time you are looking at the night sky, not at the stars, but in between the stars, to the edge of the universe. As you defocus your eyes, you will find that the stars will drop down lower and lower, until they fall into your roof or even the ground. After I did this, I went to sleep on a bed of stars, which was pretty incredible. But this experience made me think that was I seeing beyond the hologram? I began to realize that perhaps the outer light has been tampered with, and perhaps the stars are not as high up in the sky or as far away as we think. I began to think about people who have had mind-bending experiences, young children with near-death experiences, people who meditate, or people who have done hallucinogenic drug experiences, who have had hallucinogenic drug experiences. And they all are claiming to see the same thing beyond the hologram. All this has me wondering, what does our world and the universe really look like? Are we viewing the world through an artificial simulator or virtual reality? Beyond the hologram, sight is always there. It is just out of our focus, because we have been taught not how to see, but what to see. But now that is changing too. And if we now believe that beyond the hologram lies a multidimensional world, how do you think we will be able to exist or even function in such a world? How do we understand it? Now bear all this in mind as I take you through this video. We will better understand it by what we are experiencing here. Every life we have ever lived has prepared us for this one, because we are living every single life in this one. The many and the one and the one and the many. Move it. seems right now we are living so much in a short amount of time. I know I am. I should, let me see here. Could this have to do with the photon belt? A photon band, or belt, was discovered in outer space in 1961, which probably is not true as usual. In 1961 by means of the satellite-borne instrument. This is a scientific reporting of it. Earth is now gradually moving into the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, an estimated 440 light years from here. This grouping of stars is the basis of mythology in many countries. Around the early 1980s, a U.S. radio announcement was made that our solar system was in fact going to collide with an electromagnetic cloud in the not-too-distant future. However, this incredibly important statement of astronomical and historical significance was expressed in the usual casual and indifferent manner as though of little consequence. Follow-up data was then suppressed. And another government cover-up was conceived for the typical purpose of exploring natural events to camouflage contrived chaos. Oh, that's so surprising. Why would they do that? What is this hologram electromagnetic cloud, sometimes referred to as the Radiant Nebula or Golden Nebula by our star family? It's more universal. I can't read my writing. It's more universal designation is the photon belt, consisting of many bands in our star family, recognize any encounter with the belt as having great spiritual significance. Yet, we are moving into a zone in space that is a band of photon energy, hence the term photon belt. A photon is a particle representing a quantum of light or other electromagnetic radiation. A photon carries energy proportionally to the radiation frequency, but has zero resting mass. Our stars move into the band for about 2,000 years, and this event happens about every 11,000 years. This last happened during Atlantean times. The 11,000 year out of the photon belt is often referred to as a galactic night. Our star system is the 8th star in the Pleiadian star group, and our star circles the star Alcyone, as do the other Pleiadian stars. Alcyone is in the photon belt all the time. Just see if this piece of hair is sticking up. Others are in and out of varying periods of time depending on our orbit. Depending on their orbit. The experience has been on Earth at this time is extremely valuable for the range of moving between dimensions that happen as we move into and out of the photon belt. Billions of souls are trying to get into a body for this ride. And we are moving into the photon belt now, and we will be entirely in it by 2012. In the photon belt, the walls between the different dimensions will become increasingly thin or even non-existent. My father spoke about this event all the time. Think about this. We are now poised to enter the photon belt. Between now and the end of this century, we have completed the full circle and are back at the beginning. It is described in detail in the Bible and by books on mythology, even by Nostradamus, and by modern-day scientists. If the Earth enters first into the photon belt, the sky will appear to be on fire. But be assured that this is a cold light, so there will be no heat. If the sun enters first, there will be immediate darkness, which, computed by our speed through space, will last about 110 hours. The interaction between the solar radiation and the photon belt will make the sky look as if it is full of falling stars. Falling stars, you say? And people will all be seeing beyond the hologram. Using more percentage of our eyes and focusing. As the Earth enters the